extra training? Have you ever heard of that?
They'll have webinars and things they'll tell us to.
Okay, so maybe that's what they mean by it.
That pertains to professional development?
I guess it's the professional development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because we have this
it'll be
on
like
here,
safe sleep or...
It is under training, so that does make
we have
sense.
webinars and things, and I even presented one webinar, so,
Great.
And then we have that National Center for, what is that, NCT, National Trauma Center for Child Abuse and Trauma thing that you go online and can do all of those trainings and things and all of that. I did that for a while too. So, yeah.
And then do you want to do retention and successful question?
So, not on here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Couple more questions before we wrap up. We're meeting with Michelle at 10:30.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I told you I'm a talker, sorry.
It's okay. It's been wonderful.
Do you want to ask about where you receive referrals?
What's that?
From where do you receive referrals, and are you active in identifying potential families that may benefit from NPSP?
So we know the second part, you're active in trying to find clients.
But where all these... Because it sounds like you receive referrals both on base and then even through like your materials out in the community as well.
I do.
Marketing.
Who's your primary, top referral? Who's sending you the most without you fishing for them?
I'm going to say FAP.
FAP.
Okay.
So your coworkers. Okay.
And then how would you determine if a staffing tool, remember we're here for a staffing tool development, so how would you determine if a staffing tool was successful? In other words, how can you tell if your FAP is doing a good job?
Well, let's say you wouldn't have repeated occurrences.
Right.
And you will see okay, maybe this family started out, maybe the abuse, I'm going to say the abuse was because they just didn't know any better. That's how they were brought up. And they just needed some education, some instruction, or someone to kind of understand where they're going through first. So FAP, helped them to deal with those issues. And then, hey, let's give them some positive parenting and things. And so what was the question again? I'm sorry.
No, that's good. And then from an NPSP perspective, what would happen to you? What would you see happening for you to know that, well, I might need another helper, I might need a coworker that's NPSP? What kinds of things indicate that you're becoming overwhelmed?
Sometimes I feel like I need a clone when I wish that I could have better connect time for the hospitals. I know that they're there.
Right.
But
so
I don't
recruitment.
I don't have time to go out in the field and do as much. I wish I could do more field interaction, go over to the clinic more often, because anytime I walk over there, I see the waiting room filled with parents with babies that when did you have this baby? Why didn't I know about you?
Right.
So just because of the demographics here makes it a little challenging for me to be out in the community and do as much as I need. So even as many of the, sometimes my home visits sometimes because I have to. So sometimes I can't do 2 home visits a day because I have to do things here in the office. Or if I do 2 home visits a day, I'm here to 6 o'clock because I got to come back and put my notes in time.
Right.
Or before, because it's the end of the week and I don't want to get geeked from, not having my notes in. Or if I just took a new client, of course, that entails a lot of paperwork. So all the documentation that comes when you open up a case.
Right.
And that can take a lot of time because I got to scan forms, I got to, or if I got to do those 60-question assessments, that take a lot of time to grade those things and put them in the computer and then, put all that into FISMAS. And so the FISMAS takes up a lot of time. And, of course, the home visits, the time it takes to actually drive out there sometime.
Right.
Yeah.
Is also, that's not really counted. And trying to make sure that I can see all of the different ones. Just like I said, some of my active duty, if I really want to keep them, I want to And I don't want it a strain on them when they said, I can't leave my job. Mm-hmm. They don't look at new parent support. I have to go see new parent like they do. I have a FAP appointment. They don't look at new parent support like that.
Are you given any kind of guidance in terms of when you have to get clients in? So is there anything measurable to say, gosh, I'm not getting these enough clients in because I'm in the office doing documentation? Do you have like a response time that you're expected to keep, or like a rate of visits?
I manage that on my own, and they trust that I know how to do that.
So there's nothing that's like...
And they said, well, whenever, if you're working over, you take that flex time or whatever to make sure that,
Gotcha.
So, okay, we saw you here to 6 o'clock last night, so you come in at 8 in the morning or whatever, and that's what I normally do, just kind of...
Right.
And just keep it, and that works. I just kind of keep things balanced myself.
So you're given flexibility by your supervisor?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So our last question for you is, what does FAP and your leadership do to promote your retention?
They support me. They support my judgment. They support my assessment. They support, and I appreciate that they support my knowledge and my experience, that they don't have to run behind me and wonder why I have this client or that client. They may ask a certain thing, and I explain, or I come to them if I really like, what do you think? I got this, that, and the other going on. And, they're not chasing behind me. Okay, how long did it take you to drive out here to that and come back? And, why aren't where are you at this time and where are you at that time? Although I do keep a log of where I am and the time I'm expected back, but it's not like it's anything they're worried about when it comes to that. So I really appreciate I have their support, when I come in and talk to them, even if it's something that's kind of like out of the box, like, I got this client, but this, that, and the other, I'm going to put them in the program anyway because I just got this feeling that they say, go ahead, Lolita, understand why you're doing that. That's what I really appreciate about my current, I've never always had that, but the current ones that I have now, and that's what that helps to make my job really I'm sorry, that enjoyable. I do.
And so what's another reason that you've stayed in this position for as long as you have?
Because there's a need. And also, it's amazing. I may not get the recognition like some people do. They get the ice. They tell when they see the client, oh yeah, put in an ice comment. I don't do that.
Right.
My recognition, if you say, thank you, Miss Lolita, or I see that you have made a difference, or they don't have to say that, but I have clients who said like, wow, Miss Lolita, I don't know what I would have done had you not done this, that, and the other. And the cutest thing that that I call my most gratification is now when their little kids call me grandma. I'm like, oh, they're so sweet, That means that you really touched an area of their life because I'm that person that is filled. I don't take it,
Right.
But, just kind of cute. Yeah. Because this dad called me up and said, Miss Lolita, their parents live in St. Louis. Our school is having a program for Grandmother's Day, back in October, Grandparents' Day. And, Christian and Autumn, grandparents, can't they ask me to call you and say, can Miss Lolita come? Because they won't have a grandmother come. And I was like, I don't have any grandkids. That's so sweet. So I did. I told them I said, guess what? Honorary. I got a new title. I don't care about the new one. My new title is New Parent Support and Honorary Grandparents.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Because you were always there.
So that's what keeps me going when I see that I made a difference.
Yeah.
Just that person that was just like that young lady that I just went up to in the commissary and just say, well, I'm going to be there for you. And I just saw on her face like, wow. That makes a difference. Even though it's not in a record, she's not a client, but just knowing, I don't need the documentation, I don't need all these certificates, just knowing that I have touched somebody's life and made a difference when they needed it, and just been there to do whatever it was. And you don't know sometimes. And it's not in our curriculum sometimes.
Yeah, you have a certain tact that you've developed over the years.
So sometimes it's just to go and sit and talk to them.
Yeah.
That's all they needed. It's not even in what they needed is not even in my curriculum.
Yeah.
So I just put down emotional support. Mom was just concerned about, how she's going to make it through MS.